Gang, what's up? Aaron here, Canadian Looney. We're going to jump right into this. We've got Michelle Rempel Garner, one of our favorites, another one of our favorites, Melissa Lantsman. They're kicking off the Conservative Convention in Calgary together. Let's jump right into the video.
And the people in this room are unique in that they are reflective of these concerns and willing to fight those fights. You talked earlier about like having more people that are representative of Claire's demographic and background, and it's
Remember when we used to be in Claire's demographic?
Yeah, we're old now, dude. No, I really am. We were talking.
Not that much younger than you guys.
I don't know. I think Melissa and I just harp on each other sometimes, but no.
It's important though too, because I think doing things like this are important, because
They
I
are.
probably wouldn't be in this position right now if I hadn't seen you on CPAC one day and reached out to you if you answered. You know, I look up to both of you, and that's important for somebody like me to see myself reflected in another politician, and maybe I can take that a step further and allow another person to see themselves reflected in a politician that gives them the courage to come forward and want to do this and get involved and be involved in public service. And that's so important, and it's a hard job. It certainly doesn't feel good all the time, but people need to see that there's value in it and that they can do it too, and that we don't need people that are just part of the establishment. We need regular, average, everyday Canadians that want to do something to change the country that they live in for the better.
I had that, like when Michelle was a baby MP, I was a lowly staffer in Ottawa. You got elected pretty young.
I did.
And,
I was 31.
And
I'm not 31 anymore.
No, you're not. Now we sort of sit in the same box, but you always look to people who are doing the thing that that you don't think you can ever do. And politics is like one of those things, and it's for different reasons people don't get into it. Like, I grew up in an immigrant family. My parents came here in the 70s, so quite a long time now. But at the time, we were, like they had accents, and they didn't do the jobs that they were educated in, and they came here for a better life. And I never saw myself in politics. Like the neo-Gothic buildings of Ottawa, like that wasn't where like immigrants went. That was where people with like last names like Trudeau sat. And sort of big tables where the French and the English fought, and that it just wasn't the place where immigrant kids could aspire to. And so you kind of almost like write it off as like, I don't think I can do that. And then you see people who are
in rooms like this.
In rooms like this.
No, I'm involved. I got involved in politics, and I'm elected because of conservative conventions.
Same.
This is where I cut my teeth. I learned how to debate policy. You learn how to convince other people that your idea is good, or you get convinced that your idea is bad. You learn humility, but to your point, you learn that this is possible and that our country is worth fighting for. I think that's something that, it gets lost in the coverage of convention. Like I can only imagine what the CBC's coverage is right now, but what is going to, I think, get lost in mainstream media coverage is that every person who is in this room has paid money and has traveled to be here to fight for a better Canada, to fight for their communities. And, in a country that's as regionally diverse, as big as our country is, the fact that our party facilitates events that allows, we came up through conventions. All three of us were sitting here because of rooms like this. And I bet you that the next three people that are going to be on here are in this room tonight that aren't elected. And that's exciting, I don't know. I think it's really important for people to feel the energy. Like sometimes I ask people be like, well, why are you fighting this and that? Because they hear this constant stream of negative energy from people who don't want conservative policies to succeed, because they will make life better for average Canadians. I have to close my rant with this, and then you guys can talk again. You were talking about the average person getting there, right? None of us come from wealth or,
the establishment.
None of us are Nepo babies in politics, right? I would just say this. There's been a lot of chatter in Ottawa over the last 6 months about Mark Carney wanting to replace some people in his caucus with his people, right? Well, what does that mean?
We'll get back to the absurdity of Canadian federal politics in a moment. Just a friendly reminder to smash the like, hit subscribe. Please leave a comment below if you have something to share. Let's get back to the nutty video.
Right? And our party, the Conservative Party of Canada, encourages people.
You earn your keep around here.
You have to. I mean, when I came up as an activist and when I started coming to conservative conventions, I only had people cheer me on. I never had anyone hold me back. You know, if you want to do something and affect change in Canada, it is through this party. It really is. No.
Yeah, and this is the kind of party. Look, you're going to hear a lot of people try to, be detractors of a weekend like this, where you can't deny, like, this. Our party's got 2.5 million more votes than we ever got before. 8 million Canadians again voted. We got 25 more seats that look a whole lot different than our party maybe used to look. In a brand new coalition.
Yes.
Of new Canadians, of
urban
class Canadians, of urban Canadians,
rural,
and some of the seats that were won under Pierre's leadership were just, like, they wouldn't even make any kind of like target list if you had one in your head about the ones that we think that we can win as a party in all of those back rooms where they decide on the seats. So like that in itself is like, it's wild to see what this party is, like the kinds of conversations that happen here, the kind of energy in here, and you're part of that. I'm so happy to be
Me too.
part of this, and again, like a party that doesn't tear people down for ideas, but the detractors are going to want to diminish all of that. They're going to want to diminish the thousands of people that have come here, and of course they like it. When conservatives are fighting conservatives, they're not fighting liberals. And the establishment wins. So you got to remember, if you're watching, our enemy is not. We have tough policy conversations. You always get your say. You might not get your way. That's what makes this party amazing. But when we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them. We're not fighting for all of those millions of people that entrusted myself, you, our colleagues, and all of those who didn't just quite get to the finish line with their votes to stand up and make change in this country. And that's what you remember at these things.
100%. It is something to be part of this, to sit in these rooms, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in the legislature or in the House of Commons. Yeah. But I think what you said is really important, and like, again, going back to some of the debates that you've started, Claire, having the same thinking as everybody else and never questioning the status quo, you never get change. You never make life better, right? And so, people that benefit from the status quo or from the system coasting along, they don't want those conversations to happen. They somehow frame that they're bad. But we're going to have spicy conversation here this weekend. We are. But, at a moment in time when the entire country is rightly focused on questions of sovereignty, what we're united under, if we have to have spicy conversations, because that's how you come up with the action to affect change, right? I mean, I guess we could just be Mark Carney and have slogans.
Say stuff from a speech, yeah. Like that's why you see it in BC. You get the nice words from a podium, and then the policy doesn't match. Like
nothing
the
that follows
outcomes
through.
don't match the words.
And we do policy here. Like we do policy at conventions.
Yeah.
Like Rob and I, before you came on, Claire was like, okay, this is the 20-minute technical explanation, but we have a really robust. Guys.
She's only 5 minutes away.
We're 5 minutes.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous ne sommes qu'à 5 minutes.
The live ceremony
du début des
starting.
cérémonies
It's
d'ouverture.
very loud in here. Just to recap, if you've enjoyed the conversation we had tonight, we are going to be live streaming here all weekend. We're going to have a lot of special guests. I'm sure Clara and Melissa are going to come by again. But we want to give you the behind the scenes conversation, the real story of what's happening here at the Conservative Convention. And most importantly, to give you a sense of optimism and hope that we're working hard to make this country better. And we know that so many of you that are watching right now, you're entrusting us to do that job, and that's exactly what thousands of delegates are going to be doing in Calgary this weekend. So
stay tuned to this stream. Like, we're going to see the opening ceremonies of this. Make sure you like and you share this
yes.
with as many people as you can. Get them to tune into the coverage from the weekend. It's going to be way better than the detractors that don't want to see millions of Canadian voices reflected in trying to build a better country that works from everyone, no matter where you're from and how you got here. That's what we're gonna do today. I'm super pumped to be on this.
I am too.
I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, you should.
You can thumbs down if you don't want me to come back, but
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think we should go take our seats because I've heard they got a pretty good show lined up
Stay
tonight.
tuned for this coverage, and we'll catch you soon.
Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day. That was awesome.
Gang, we're going to wrap up right there. Aaron, Kennedy, and Looney, smash the like, hit subscribe. We're going to see what other live stuff we can find here from the Conservative Convention Kickoff. Like, share, subscribe. Aaron, get your Canadian federal politics right here.